everybody here knows, I'm sure that you've been an actress for forever, diba, child star. When did you realize na may passion ka for hindi lang acting kasi you're like multi-talent, you sing, you dance, you do all that. So when did you realize that you had a passion for entertaining?
Well, I've been doing commercials kasi since I was 2.
Okay.
So, ever since I started, it felt like a playground to me. It was just very fun. I really enjoyed it. It's like I lived and I breathed performing, and I used to do theater. So, I don't know. I guess it's because it runs in my blood as well. So, it's something that I knew will always be a part of my life. And I was just very passionate about it. So, hanggang ngayon, yun yung nakikita ko na ginagawa ko.
What do you mean it runs in your blood?
My dad's side, they're all musicians, producers,
Oh.
management, yan, Octo Arts, Viva, and before, nung old times, I don't remember what you call, hindi pa ako pinanganak nun eh. Pero basta they're into the arts.
Nice. Okay. Sige. So when you started doing the commercials, like what do you remember any? Can you pinpoint some of the commercials you used to do when you were young?
I remember most. My first commercial was for Telecom. I did shampoo. I did almost all the fast food. I did toothpaste. Almost everything. I even did insurance.
Whoa! As a child, insurance.
I did almost every kind I could think of, except ano pa ba? Parang halos lahat eh.
So when did you make the transition from commercials into, because you like we all know na commercial acting is different from TV acting,
Totally
and
different.
like you know what I mean. There's commercial models, and it's different from being an actual from a I don't want to use the word artista or artist to say, you know what I mean, but it's different from being in showbiz.
Yeah.
So
it's a
when did you
industry?
when did you make the shift?
2008, I think, or late 2007. Parang kinuha lang ako to be the young Christine Hermosa in one of her shows back then. And I remember I didn't have any experience at all. Tapos parang lahat iyakan. And then I was like, whoa, I don't know how to cry. But for some reason, nagawa naman. So I guess dun din nagsimula na parang, I can do it naman pala. Baka kaya naman. And I tried guesting in other shows until I auditioned for Going Bulilit, which was 2008. And I was in ABS with 3,000 other kids, audience entrance. So doon talaga siya nagsimula. And then I never stopped after that, after I got in.
But you said that you were doing theater, diba? So why do you say that you had no experience dun sa soap mo kay Christine?
Theater naman kasi because I was very young. It was just trumpets, like.
Oh yeah, I know trumpets. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was very light, and to me it was more of play. It was just really for enjoyment rather than training talaga. So nung sumabak ako dun sa Christine Hermosa show, and I had no idea about how showbiz, taping.
Sobrang tagal, super tenga.
Tapos ilang taon lang ako lang, tapos nagulat ako, parang inabot na ako ng 9 a.m. the next day.
Yeah, ganun dati, no?
Whoa! What is this? So ayun, parang namulat. Doon ako namulat na, ito pala yun. Yung mga napapanood ko sa TV, ganito pala yun.
So with that experience, yun nga, na nagulat ka na hanggang 9 a.m. ka the next day, I'm sure early call time ka din, mga 7 a.m. call time yan.
Oo.
So, because di ba sabi mo, you were alluding na parang siyang play for you.
Yeah.
Nung nagawa mo na yan, how did it change your perception of acting? Parang did you feel na parang ayoko pala gawin to, or mas dalong na yung fire?
Naman, of course it was a bit like a culture shock to me because yun nga, coming from commercials, totally different world. But I was fulfilled kasi nagawa ko siya. So I was like, this is pretty cool. It was really hard, but I don't know, maybe it's not always like this. So maybe we can try again if there's an opportunity. And ayun, thankfully there was.
Kasi parang nagising ka sa fact na, oh, hindi pala laro-laro lang to. Kasi like you said, diba, yung trumpets mo, it's like play. The commercial, it's like play. Ngayon, dito mo na-realize na parang, oh, seryoso pala to. How old were you at that time?
I think, mag-8 pa lang ako ata.
Tapos naisip mo na kaagad na parang it really made a shift in you. And you enjoyed it enough where you wanted to do it again. So like you said, you did Going Bulilit.
Mm-hmm.
Na, of course, I've watched a few, pero never ako nakapag-guest doon. So, diba? 17 na ako nung nag-artista ako. But did that bring you back to your days in trumpets na parang laro to? Parang how was Going Bulilit like?
It had its pros and cons. That's for
like
sure.
all things.
Like all things, naman. So there were moments when, of course, it felt like play because you were with a bunch of other kids.
Yeah.
And you were just doing very light comedy. It was just very fun. But of course, just like any other show you enter, there's always gonna be drama. And because you are with a lot of other people, from different backgrounds, some you've met for the first time, iba-ibang ugali din ng mga tao. So you see a lot of things that at that time I was not used to seeing. But for them, it was just normal. But like the staff, the production, they were all great. They were the producers, the directors, okay na okay yung experience ko dun sa kanila, sa mga staff. And I think it helped a lot with like honing me in a way. Kasi yun nga, from child actress to, I don't know what you call me now, but yeah, from actress.
I guess just an actress, no? Hindi, performer. Kasi nga, you sing also and you dance. You can't just really put yourself into a box of actors kasi masyado kang maraming ginagawa eh. You know what I mean? But you know what? Like that's what I noticed here with the Philippine show business. Parang they want you to be able to do everything. Eh. They don't want you to be a specialist. If you know what I mean. Parang lalo na when you start young, yung mga young talents, dinadala sa dance workshop, may voice coaching. So in a way, it's good kasi alam mo yun, you get to see what you're really talented at. Eh. Pero at the same time, parang nakakatanggal ng focus instead of like focusing on one thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Ikaw, if I were to ask you, what's your favorite aspect of performing?
Ooh, that is hard. Before, I would say singing, but now, parang I'm leaning towards acting.
Pero ito, you can't just, it's a singing kasi because you also write your own songs. Eh.
Yeah.
So you're not just singing other people's songs. So you can't just put it in the box na singing. Is it like mas natutuwa ka ba sa music or sa acting?
Alam mo, sobrang hirap talaga. It depends on what inspires me at the moment. Like, ngayon, I'm so inspired with acting. So, I'm gonna lean towards acting na ito yung mas gusto ko at the moment. But let's say, like when we were in PBB, I was really enjoying the songwriting and the singing. So, yun.
But it's kind of madaya because you don't really have a chance to act in PBB. So
yung parang musical play lang.
Yung musical play, pero musical pa rin siya. You know
ayun nga eh. So,
so talagang magli-lean ka dun sa songwriting.
Yeah, it's hard to choose. Why not all?
yun na nga, why not all. Pero, uy, grabe, may pa-Chocolate Hills.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Another thing I want to talk about, like, with growing up in the industry, parang, I feel like with me, now that I'm older, I realized na ang hirap din talaga to make like really good friends in the industry because you tend to gravitate towards people your age, you know what I mean? People with the same interests. And sa totoo lang, in our industry, those are your competition. Eh. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like people the guys my age, I'm competing for roles with them. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure with you also. Eh. And especially sa Going Bulilit because you're all still growing up, diba?
Yeah.
With Going Bulilit, yeah, okay. You're all kids, you're all like that. When did you realize na parang, oh wait, mag-aagawan kami for roles dito eventually? And did that like change how you would look at your co-stars? What was that like?
Actually, I realized that early on because that I was so surprised at how the other kids were treating me and were so like hungry, and it's a different kind of hunger. It's like very aggressive. And I was like, whoa, why, I don't understand. So I was very, it was so weird to me. And then I realized, oh, because they think I'm their competition.
Doon mo na gets.
Yeah,
Eventually, oo.
they act a certain way but they're mad at me because they think nakakalamang ako because they think I'm their competition. And then to me, honestly, I didn't care. I knew I was decent in what I was doing, and I knew naman na hindi ako pangit. So that was enough for me na I'm not gonna care about you guys. You go fight over what you want. You fight over me, fight over yourselves. I don't care. I am gonna focus on myself. You know the saying na your only competition is
the man in the mirror, man.
Yeah, like your potential. So that was me. Because I was like, I didn't care about whatever. And then growing up, it was really hard to gain friends. Kasi kaya ako namulat about the competition things because I thought friends. And then, oh, hindi pala. Parang ganun. So maybe I thought before it was impossible to maybe find real friends in the industry because baka ganun lahat. That's why I would say the industry is like the Hunger Games, diba? Parang every man for themselves. Matira matibay. Ganun. So I guess I had to change my mindset. And I love the industry, but I also know that there's so much more to life than this. So it's what I had to keep reminding myself. And ang importante lang talaga sa akin is na yung maganda yung ginagawa ko. Kasi there will always be someone naman talaga who is better than you. There's always gonna be someone new. Always gonna be someone prettier than you. That's a given fact. So, kaya natuto ako na talagang mag-focus lang sa sarili ko. Na galingan ko lang lagi. Yun na yun. Parang iba-iba din naman tayo ng timeline. So, it may be their time and I don't really care. I'm not an insecure person naman. So, ayun, for me. Pero I'm lucky na later on, I was able to find really good friends who didn't see me as competition. Even though we all know na magkakompetensya kami lahat for all the roles, everything. Parang alam na namin yun. Pero it wasn't something that we would let change us and our relationship. And I mean, I'm talking about my friends now. Yung four sisters ko dun sa movie, yan, si Belle, si Charlie, si Jillian, si Andrea, si Blythe, yun. Parang we were talking about it din na parang everyone's trying to make us fight.
Matagal, child actress ba si Blythe? Andrea Brillantes? Matagal na rin siya. Nag-going bulilit din siya. Okay, I never knew that.
So yun, parang sabi ko, everyone's trying to make us fight. And it is true that we are each other's competition. But, alam mo yun, you finally found people na mas nangingibabaw yung tunay na love and care for each other than fighting for roles and agaw buhay ka dito sa showbiz. Parang ganon. So, ayun, but I didn't lose all hope in people.
Kasi alam mo sa totoo lang, it's not just that the fact na you're each other's competition. The fact na nasa showbiz tayo, it's hard to maintain friendships talaga dahil sa schedules natin, do you know what I mean? It's hard enough to maintain friendships with people who aren't in the industry. What more with people who are also in the industry, do you know what I mean? Like, I have very few na talagang who I feel na talagang kapatid ko, you know what I mean? Like, if I'll name two on the top of my head, si Marco tsaka si Gab Lagman. And like, I love those guys to death, you know what I mean? But it's so hard to see each other, bro. And it's not like I don't want to see them, they don't want to see me. It's just talagang yung schedules. Dito na yung schedules talaga. Kaya every time I get a chance to work with people who I consider my friends, I jump at the opportunity eh. You know? Kasi iba rin yung bond na nabibuild nyo sa set. Right? Yeah. So like, I'm sure that's why you guys got so close dun sa Four Sisters. Kasi, you know what I mean? It's the hours on the set talaga eh.
Yeah.
And like, there's nothing else to do. You have no one else is there. It's you guys to look at.
Diba?
Lalo na sa lock-in. Actually, na-enjoy ko yung lock-in, ha? I really did. Yung lock-in natin dun sa, ano. Let's talk about that. Like, if you were gonna compare the old... Actually, ngayon, medyo balik na tayo sa ganun, eh. You know, like, MWF. Yeah.
Movie, balikan.
What do you prefer?
I prefer lock-in.
Diba?
Ako lang, I know so many people who despise it, who hate it so much and never want it back. But I think it's a lot more convenient in a lot of ways.
Like, for number one, ang naiisip ko, it's a lot easier to stay in character when you're locked in.
Yeah, totoo.
You know? Like, especially with our soap, yung sa init sa magdamag, kung balikan yung ano natin, kunyari Monday, Wednesday, Friday, ako si Raymond, Bex, ganun. Pag uwi ko sa bahay, hindi na naman. Tapos pagbalik mo sa set, kakapain mo ng onte. You know what I mean? Ang daming oras na nasasayang eh. Of course, mas komportable tayo pag makakauwi tayo sa bahay, see our loved ones. But, you know what I mean? Pag work talaga, it's better to just focus on the work. Diba?
Yeah. Then for me, it was better, and you have no choice but to build a relationship with the people around you, which helps a lot.
Yeah. And lalo na kung saan tayo, wala masyadong magawa, walang signal, walang internet, so you have no choice but to mingle, or kunyari may taping lahat, ikaw lang walang taping. You have no choice but to work on your character, put depth to your character. So, in a way, parang mas, I don't know, like, it's kind of similar to PBB, lalo na kung saan tayo with no internet and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I don't know why in PBB I felt more trapped. Maybe it's because sa lock-in.
See other things.
And sa lock-in, we know when we're going home.
Yeah.
It's in our mind. Dun sa PBB, wala kang alam. You don't know anything.
Sense of time even. Nothing.
Wala kang sense of time. Oh, and
you didn't know what was happening outside. Nothing talaga.
Unless dumaan na yung chopper ni Willie, alam na natin, okay. Oh, my Yamashita! Let's go, baby! Let's effing go, baby! Thank you sa Yamashita.
Hindi ko nakita anyway.
Ako din masyado mabilis, pero okay lang.
Kasi yung gifts.
Gifts, daming gifts. So since na-open na natin yung topic ng PBB, what made you consider doing PBB? Have you always wanted to do PBB? Since ang tagal mo na sa industriya eh. Have you ever auditioned before?
Yes, I have. Ilang beses na akong dapat pumasok.
What happened? Let's talk about those.